This is Cauldron's Crypt, Season 1, Episode 2, for October 11th, 2016.
Welcome. Welcome to my dungeon.
Hello, I'm your host, Cauldron Fire. Don't forget to visit us at cauldronscrypt.com. Today we're going to continue defining BDSM. I'm going to let you know a little bit more about what BDSM means to me, and I'm going to give you a few pointers on entering the community. So, what does BDSM mean to me? It means freedom, excitement, love, respect, cherishment. You notice none of these things include pain, slavery, disrespect, degradation. Sure, all of that is part of BDSM, but that's just a playful part of it. It is not at all what 50 Shades of Grey makes it out to be. If you don't have respect for your submissive, more respect than what your submissive has for you as their dominant, then chances are you're abusing them. It's easy to tell somebody what to do. It's like spending someone else's money. That's a simple thing to do. If I give you $10,000 and say, go shopping. We need this. I don't care what it costs. Just come back with it. And you go out, you spend $10,000. You have a good time. There's no buyer's remorse. Just like if I tell someone what to do. That is submissive to me. If I don't respect them, I'm going to abuse them. So you have to take full ownership. And just like the example of money, if it's your $10,000, you're not going to be quite as likely to just go blow it on whatever. You're not going to just purchase the first thing. Chances are you're going to research. You're going to find the best price. You're going to find the best quality before you make a purchase. And that's what 50 Shades of Grey is leaving out. And because that's the big thing nowadays, that is what people are leaving out of BDSM and DS relationships. It really bothers me when I talk to people, and I mentor a lot of people. Last week I talked about my submissive that is a male, and a friend of mine listened to it, and he said, well, why don't you just call it mentoring? Because with mentoring, it's different. They want to learn, but at any minute, they can just back out of it. With this, because of the psychological feelings of submission and dominance, it's not so easy. And it gives them that little added push and that little added pressure to do what they need to do. And I know what they need to do because of communication beforehand. Before any of this ever started, we sat down and defined the terms. Okay, I need help with this, and this. Okay, I can do that for you. What are you going to do for me? In this particular case, it is a non-sexual arrangement, but even if it wasn't, our submissives are not prostitutes to us. So if we agree upon them or agree to do these things, the return is not always sexual. It can be, but not always. And that's what people just cannot seem to understand. One, they get hung up on the terminology of a slave. So I don't even use the word slave when I'm talking to people trying to help them to understand that. I'm using it in this podcast because I'm hoping that you can understand that submissive or sub or bottom and slave is interchangeable and is not derogatory. Now, if I did not take care of them, if I did not care about them, if I did not nurture them, then yes, they would be a slave in the old world vanilla sense of the meaning. that does nothing for me. I don't want to just push someone around and tell them what to do. Yes, I am sadistic. And those that allow me to be a sadist with them, and notice I said those that allow me. I touched on this last week, but most people don't understand that it is a psychological game and that they have all the control. They have the power. They can stop it at any minute. If they're being my submissive in a masochistic type of setting where I'm a sadist and I'm inflicting pain, degradation, whatever the case may be, then they're allowing that, and they want that to take place. And I keep it safe, sane, and consensual. I'm not going to do a flogging scene or caning or any other type of scene where I'm striking someone or using clamps, spanking, any type of sadistic act. I am not going to enter into that scene unless I am fully mentally present. If you're angry about something, whether it be with them, your job, your family, road rage, whatever it might be, then you are not fully mentally present. It is impossible. I was listening to Master Arcane, and if you don't know who he is, you're missing out. He and I believe basically the same way about this. He has the Crow Academy, where he mentors and teaches, does seminars and conventions. Phenomenal individual, highly respected in the community. He practices a high etiquette form of BDSM in his DS relationships. And that is what I've done. Makita actually taught me about that, and it's a style very similar to his. We had names for different positions, and I have furthered this into some other relationships, whereas with him they're numbers. And I'm just now reading his book, and I wish I had it pulled up on the name of it. I will definitely get that. But so far, it's amazing. If you look him up on YouTube, you can do a search for the Crow Academy or Master Arcane, and it'll come up with a 6-part series that he did out in Las Vegas with his submissive Daphne, 24/7 submissive. And I'm trying to help friends in the vanilla world understand what it's like when myself and a submissive enter into a scene, and it's to the point where I can just tell them, hey, if you want to know what it's like, visit YouTube, check him out, and his interaction with his submissive is the same as my interaction with mine. The only difference is he may tell submissive Daphne position 3 or position 13. I believe he's got 17 positions, and as part of the training for the submissive, it's her job to learn these positions. And they're, it's very structured. He does a collaring ceremony or ritual. The ceremony is when you initially give someone a collar, which is the highest level of respect for your submissive. But the collaring ritual is a daily thing. Me and my last submissive, female submissive, I do not collar male submissives because I'm straight, and that is like a wedding band, basically. It's saying I'm entering into this relationship with full intentions and that I love you. If you look at the old world version of the word slave, I love you is not part of that. Saying please and thank you. Yes, they're submissive, but they're still a person. I say please and thank you to people. If they cook me dinner or bring me something to drink, whatever it may be, please and thank you. And another thing that people don't understand is how much work the dominant or master must put into themselves and put into the relationship. They don't understand. They think, well, oh, cool, I've got this submissive. I can sit back and I can be lazy. If you're lazy, then it's not for you. you have to put in at least twice as much work as your submissive does if you're going to be a successful dominant and have a successful DS relationship. So removing that negative connotation from the word slave is kind of a goal of mine. It's a mission amongst my friends, and then I'll move on to the rest of the world with the help of people like Master Arcane. So it's things that people are surprised by. They see this, and then they call me. They say, "Oh my God, I did not realize that this is what it's like. Can we witness this?" No, because these are things that are very private. Now, her collaring ceremony, and when I say her, I'm referring to a submissive that we're kind of on a hiatus. But no, it is common, just like with a wedding, to have friends and family at a collaring ceremony because it's a very intimate thing. Now, the daily ritual, no. But as far as our interaction, it's because I don't want to put a submissive on display because thus far, or as of more recently, that has not been something that they were okay with as far as inviting friends and family to witness a scene with us. And when I say that, again, I'm not referencing a sexual act. I'm certainly not going to have friends and family, especially not family, some friends, but not family, come over and witness a sexual scene. And when I tell them that, of course their initial response is sarcasm. Well, thank God for that. But then they think about it for a second, and they always go back, no matter how many times we talk about it, how many times I tell them it's not always sexual. But yet, they always come back to it and say, wait, you won't let us watch even though it's non-sexual. No, because I respect my submissive's wishes, because we have discussed it. In a BDSM relationship, you do not have the luxury of not discussing things. It's unsafe, it's insane, and then you don't know what is consensual and what is not if you are not discussing things. Every detail of your lives has to be talked about. And that is something that, unfortunately, people have great difficulty in understanding. Moving on to the next topic, I wanted to do a brief history. I'm going to skip over that one and leave it for next week. Modern influences that I wanted to talk about, just real briefly on that, because this is still kind of an introduction to BDSM. Obviously, 50 Shades of Grey, that book series, and then the movie. And also last week on that movie, I said that I couldn't wait for the next two to come out. I didn't mean that I was excited. I meant that as in when I watched the first one, it was like watching a train wreck, as the expression goes. So, yeah, I'm kind of curious what the rest of the books are about. Honestly, I have not read the books. I have seen the movie. So when I reference 50 Shades as being something that is viewed as abusive, I'm referencing what I have personally witnessed in the movie. I know a lot of other people in the BDSM community has studied the books, not just read them, studied them, and found them to be abusive. But I haven't, so I can't say that about the book. Now, I will say that unlike a lot of people in the BDSM community, that movie and those books did bring it into pop culture. It did make people aware of it. More so, it awakened something, and it provided an interesting in for a lot of us. Just asking someone if you're interested in them, if you're pursuing a BDSM relationship, and just asking them, hey, did you read the books? Did you see the movie? And that can spark up a bit of a conversation right there and let you know, and their reaction to it. Even though it's been a while, I guess the movie came out last year, those who were really into it are going to let you know by the way they answer the question. And it just gives you an opportunity to open up the conversation and let them know what it's really about. However, it's crucial not to be predatory in that search, because if that's the type of person you are, get off my podcast. Unless you're here to learn the real way, because that's something that I do not tolerate. I love women. I do not abuse them. I do not disgrace them or disrespect them. When there is